Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia, where once again we're being presented with another fun fact. Where does he even get this stuff from? I swear, every single scene is just another random factoid. It's like he's watched every single episode of Jeopardy and he's just regurgitating facts in his head.
I'll take the tricks now.
You're sitting on a gold mine, Trebek. There we go. We already put Sean Connery in the episode so he can't slip in later.
That's what you think.
Yeah, you're right. He'll come back. That usually gets cut, but inevitably one of us slurs our words and it just ends up sounding like a bad Sean Connery impression.
Man, always.
Yeah. It's pretty well known that rabbits can die if they get lonely enough. I didn't know that. You might assume that means you should be petting your bunnies at all times, but in fact, excessive contact can stress their nerves badly enough to inspire escape attempts. Moderation is the rule in our interactions with other creatures. Actually, that is true. The moderation part. But human beings have a hard time finding that balance even when we try. All too often, we clumsily misjudge the appropriate distance, or stumble in our attempts to maintain it.
Rest in peace, Mr. Hoppy. Oh no, we pet her too much. Yeah, sounds bad. A crisis, to be sure.
Are we tuning out again already?
What?
A recess period. Machina pops up noisily before my eyes, then proceeds to grab at my clothes and shake me back and forth. I ward her.
Take your protect back and forth.
I ward her off with one hand, paying little attention to the specific content of her squawking. Jeez.
Calling it squawking just reminds me of, like, in Always Sunny. You know, they've got, like, the running gag of Dee being a bird. And then they've got that one episode that's totally from the different standpoints. And when Mac is seeing Dee, he literally just sees, like, an ostrich.
Okay, that is pretty hilarious. I don't watch that much It's Always Sunny, but there are definitely a few episodes that I find absolutely hilarious, like the, what was it, Nightman, Dayman episode.
Oh, yep, was it Nightman Cometh?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I assume you're just babbling. Can't say I'm sensing a lot of danger right now.
Maybe a little now. The Earth's always in danger. There's always some intergalactic alien threatening to take out. I wish I could remember Kay's monologue, but I can't.
Yep, I know what you're going for, though. I can't do anything about my face. Right, look, leaving that aside, suppose it wouldn't do to ignore a global crisis.
Okay. Did Michiru get lice?
You know, that's a pretty dramatic drop in scale, you little punk.
でもな、世界系だとこういう小さなコミュニティが大体世界の命運を握るわけだから、おおむね間違ってはいないはず。
Microcosmical. Okay.
What the hell are you even talking about?
まあ、世界やら世界はともかくとして、私たちの半径1キロ圏内において重要な事柄であることには間違いないと思うよ。
What's the size of the school?
Huh.
Machina is one thing, but if Amane is backing her up, I guess this does warrant my attention.
何何の話してるの？皆さんで集まってどういった要件でしょうか？
You know, I have a feeling this is going to get out of hand if everyone jumps in the conversation.
Sakaki, do you want to get in on this? Leave me alone. Good. But just as I'm about to shoo away the two late arrivals.
それよ!
Ah. For some reason, Amane jabs out her finger in my direction and powerfully declares something or other.
You know, I'd appreciate it if you could explain what it is a little more comprehensibly than that.
だからね、そのユージの言う全員ってのがそもそもの問題なわけなのよ。
Is it the lack of Sakaki? I have no idea what this woman is talking about. Does leading a normal student life require the ability to find enjoyment in this sort of vague, meaningless riddle? In that case, I've still got a ways to go.
ほら、全員って言うには一人足りないでしょ？
Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're talking about Sakaki.
We're finally on the same page. I used the word everyone when only 5 of us are here. Amane is suggesting that my unconscious exclusion of Sakaki Yumiko from the group suggests a problem in our social dynamic.
そう、こうして休み時間になるとたまに姿を消し、いたとしても本を読んで他人からの干渉をシャットアウト。榊さん、それで本当にいいのって思ったわけ。
Probably.
She's keeping her distance out of her own free will, so presumably this is how she wants to be. I don't think it's necessarily anything to worry about.
Also, how is this any different than her leaving the dorm on weekends and then coming back late with that mysterious bag of sticks?
これまでそうしてきたことが逆に悪循環だったかもしれないじゃない。もっと積極的にコミュニケーションを取れば変わる可能性もあるとは思わない？
I hadn't thought of it that way, but she might be onto something. Sakaki's a human being, after all, as far as we know. Much of her box cutter brandishing mischief may stand out. Letting those moments of hostility prejudice all of our interactions with her means giving up all hope of mutual understanding.
あの女、あれで絶対誘い受けだぜ。構ってほしいくせに周りにチヤホヤされたら迷惑そうに被害者面すんのよさ。多分。
Isn't that part of our shtick?
How did you reach that conclusion? Do you have any evidence?
知らねえ。テンプレだとそうなってんだよ。
You know what? I can't argue with that.
Okay, you can stop talking now.
そうかもしれないけど、私やっぱちょっと怖いな。何かあるとすぐにギラッとくるじゃん、氷の笑みが。
はい、そうですね。特にみちる様はその笑みの対象になるケースが非常に多く、私としても心中穏やかではありません。
やっぱそうなの。私狙い撃ち。
No, we all saw that interaction where you were the mongoose and she was the cobra.
ともかく市場は捨てましょう。でね、私ちょっと考えたんだけど、誰が一番榊さんと仲良くなれるかを競うってのはどうかなって。
I mean, she is a route, so I feel like we'll win, but...
Yes, that's true. However, I was also gently reminded that there are bad ends to this game, which I had totally forgotten about, so...
I didn't remember either.
Yep. Well, that makes me feel a little better, but at the same time, we need to be better about listening.
Look, no.
Or remembering.
We have a track record.
Okay, a track record isn't necessarily a positive or a negative statement. It simply is.
A contest?
どんな風に？
Well, whoever gives the fastest, smoothest shave wins.
そうね。例えば、手に触れたら1点とか、服とか袖を引っ張ったら3点とか。
Okay, so whoever gets stabbed gets the grand prize?
I was about to say, I feel like this is going in a bad direction.
I'm sure it is. Is it my imagination, or is this sounding increasingly fishy? Also potentially dangerous? Yes.
ユミちゃんは髪の毛が綺麗で長いのよさ。
じゃあ、触れただけなら1点。
What?
引っ張ったら3点。抜いたら5点でどう？
切った場合は？
No.
おお、攻めるわね。じゃあ、切ったセンチメートルかける10点でどうかしら。
Oh no, she's just going to come back to school with a bag full of her hair and a bunch of cuts.
なかなかの高得点ね。
私が本気を出せばユミちゃんの頭を焼け野原みたいにするのなんて造作もないことなのよさ。
Oh no.
Okay, look, I'm starting to get slightly concerned. Slow down. Are you seriously gonna do this?
Slightly concerned. My voice of restraint falls on deaf ears. The rest of the group is getting more fired up by the second.
榊さんが読んでいる本を取り上げた場合はどうなるのでしょうか。
Sachi, I can't tell if you're trying to do this just to mess with people or if this actually sounds like a good idea to you.
そ
それじゃあ100点。でもその本を榊さんの頭にかぶせたら1万点。逆に本に榊さんを読ませたらなんと5万点よ。
Okay, now this is just silly.
すごいです。一発逆転のロマンがありますね。
Oh no.
Book reading. What does that even mean? Explain in detail.
What does it sound like a Yakov-Smirnov joke? In Soviet Russia, book reads you.
Book reads you. I love that, like, legitimately, it is his jokes are maybe the least understood for people who reference them.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Like anybody, because all of his original jokes are legitimately funny.
Yeah.
It's like, you watch TV in Soviet Russia, television watches you, which is funny.
It is.
Which actually works. It says something.
Well, I feel
Yeah.
like his entire comedic persona basically just turned into like an Adam Westing situation where people just
Yes.
manipulate it. Or it's almost like the word irony, where it's used incorrectly all the time, but that's what makes it funny? Maybe.
Yep.
Was it a surreal gag? Did Amane trip over her tongue in her increasingly frantic excitement? At this rate, I'll likely never know the truth. This bizarre conversation rolls forward, momentum building by the second. You'd think everyone involved was hitting the peak of a chemical-induced high. It might just be my imagination, but sometimes I think I may have found my way into a fairly deranged excuse for a learning environment.
じゃあ勝負は次の休み時間に。一番榊さんと仲良くなれた人の勝ちということで。
Alright, we have this in the bag. All we have to do is warn her that this is happening, and we win.
Yep.
やりがいがありますね。
負けないわよ。
Do you people actually hate Sakaki or what?
The enthusiastic group of conspirators doesn't dignify my perfectly reasonable question with a response. Okay. Tragically, for Sakaki, the next recess period arrives all too quickly.
いいこと？ユージも榊さんにバラしたりしちゃダメだからね。わかった？
No, my perfect plan!
Fine.
お兄ちゃんは得点係だから誰かに肩入れするような行為も慎むのよさ。
Does rooting for Sakaki count?
You know, maybe not?
Fine, let's get this over with.
To be honest, I seriously doubt this is going to get us any closer with Sakaki, but giving the game away would probably make things just as awkward in its own way. And so I've adopted the typically Japanese policy of watching passively over the situation from a safe distance. Sakaki Yumiko, the unexplored territory, the final frontier. Seated at her desk, face buried in a thick book, her body language projects a desire to be left alone.
榊さん、ちょっと今いい？
The Suo Amane expedition takes the first daring step into the wilderness. Her approach appears impressively natural. Woman's something of a skilled actress, apparently. Of course, she could probably be putting that talent to better use than this, but...
何？私たちね、榊さんがいない間にちょっと話し合ったんだけど。何か陰湿な話かしら。
Actually?
いや、そんなんじゃなくてね。
Sakaki coolly throws out a perceptive question without bothering to look up from her book, prompting a flustered denial from Amane.
私たちこれまで榊さんの気持ちを考えずに接してきたんじゃないかと反省したんです。
So I'm here to take your hair.
Although her approach is pretty solid.
それよ。
どういう意味？
榊さんが望むなら私たちも榊さんの意向を邪魔しないようにあまりお互いに干渉しないようにしようかなって。
そう。例えば？
ねえユミちゃん、今どんな本読んでるのよさ。
Machina tries to snatch away the book with a surprise attack, but is forcefully rebuffed by Sakaki, who is clearly in a state of heightened wariness.
ち
Machina clicks her tongue in irrepressible frustration. She'd been gambling on taking the big points with that opportunity, but sadly, her moment has passed with nothing more than a 1-point hand touch.
約1名今の話の趣旨を全く理解してないみたいだけど。もうマキナ、あんたまた勝手なことして。
すみません榊さん。マキちゃんが急にあんなことして手をひねったりされてませんか？
Ignore me getting closer to you.
だからといってわざわざあなたが手を触る必要があるのかしら。
1 point.
I'm checking for infections.
はい。万が一のこともありますから念のために確認を。手のひらと指は大丈夫ですね。あと
She has a legitimately good strategy.
Actually, she does. But do the points increase for length of contact, or is that a separate thing? That wasn't established.
That actually is a very good point. Is it like King of the Hill?
ああ、さすがさっちゃん。他人の失敗を自らの得点として引き込むとは。
油断ならないのよさ。
Amane and Machina quietly mutter to each other, careful to keep out of Sakaki's earshot. The palm of Sakaki's hand and her fingers are pretty much a package deal, so I'll award 1 point for the pair. With the addition of the wrist, Sachi's jumped into an early lead with 2 points.
もうさっちゃんってば、さっきの話をしたすぐ後にそんなことしてたら榊さんに変な子みたいに思われちゃうわよ。
Smack, smack.
それでどうして私をバンバン叩くのよ。あらごめんなさい、お姉ちゃん間違えてしもだわ。ねえねえ知ってる？向こうのおばちゃんってすぐこうやって人叩くねんな。
Actually,
That's not wrong. That's a good approach.
that's 100% correct.
そう言ってさらに叩くのやめてほしいんだけど。
Thumping equals 5 points, and she just executed a 5-hit combo. Making excellent use of her folksy Kansai girl act, Amane seizes 25 points in the blink of an eye.
Oh,
Good strategy. The old lady reference also seems like a clever play, taking advantage of the difference in their ages, but expressing my admiration on this point would likely lead to a new conflict. I exercise discretion and keep my trap shut.
あまねこんな風にバンバン叩いたらユミちゃんに失礼じゃないのよさ。こんな風にねえユミちゃん。
It's like, stop touching yourself, stop touching yourself, stop hitting yourself.
あなたの方がよっぽど失礼よ。
Just when I thought the balance of power had shifted to Amane, Machina uses her established thoughtlessness as a cover to launch a new series of attacks, quickly acquiring 40 points. Keeping up with the scoring is beginning to prove challenging in its own right.
あれユミコ、制服のボタン取れてない？あ、いや、なんでもないです。その榊さん。
Michiru is definitely at a disadvantage in this entire contest.
100%. Everybody else has some gimmick that they can fall back on. Sachi is trusted because she's like every one. She's like the butler and the medic and all of that. She's
And the
got
class
a
rep.
gimmick. She can fall. Yep.
Yeah.
She can fall back on everything. Amane's just socially clever,
Mm-hmm.
and Makina's not.
But she
Which she
uses
can
it.
play to her advantage, yeah.
Yep.
Michiru has nothing.
No, not to mention she's pretty much the antithesis of Sakaki, so that doesn't help. Sakaki anticipates Michiru's approach and brings it to a premature halt with her powerful glare. The pseudo-tsundere wilts like a potted plant under the desert sun.
確かにボタン取れてますよ。
What did she just do?
うん？
Seizing the moment once again, Sachi deftly plucks a button from Sakaki's uniform, then holds it out for inspection on the palm of her hand. Oh my gosh. Here, let me just stitch that up for you really quickly.
Yep.
そう。ありがとう。いえ、当然のことですから。
Sakaki's clearly dubious. In comparison, Sachi's beaming from ear to ear. She's got guts to launch a bold attack like that under such risky circumstances. In deference to our dauntless soul of a maid, I mentally award 50 points, bringing Sachi's total to 52. She's regained the lead in a flash.
よろしければすぐにボタンをお付けしますが。
勝手になさい。
Yay.
お
All right.
任せください。
ちょっと服を引っ張らないでよ。
申し訳ありません。針を通すもので少しこちらに寄っていただけると。
Oh no, I accidentally stitched the uniform into your skin. Here, let me just fix that really quickly. How many points is this worth?
Yeah. I
Sachi.
bet she could get a hair if she really wanted.
Oh, she definitely could. Oh, I actually don't have any thread. Can you mind if I just pluck one of these hairs to use as a piece of thread? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I grabbed a couple. Sachi launches a follow-up attack. Pulling on Sakaki's school uniform earns her 3 points, bringing her total to 55.
それでなぜあなたは反対側を引っ張るのよ。
Oh no.
Tug of war.
のび太分バランスよくしといた方がいいかと思ったのよさ。迷惑だったか？
はっきりと迷惑だわ。
じゃ元に戻すな。
Hey.
内側に引っ張ったって元に戻らないわよ。
Perfect.
Wow, well executed. Machina adds 2 tugs for a total addition of 6 points. With a score of 46, she's hot on Sachi's heels.
あなたたち、一体何を企んでいるの？
Yay.
That is the question. Sakaki's not completely oblivious. By this point, she's clearly realized that she's become the group's plaything. Her voice has a dangerous edge to it.
もうそんなことないってば。せっかくの綺麗な髪に
Here
白
we
髪が
go.
できちゃうわよ。
Look, here's one right now.
そんなわけないでしょ。ごまかさないで。で、また触らないで。でもほら枝毛。嘘もつかないで。いや、ほんとよ。ここ。
Amane seems to have discovered a genuine split end. Sakaki falters for a moment, obviously thrown off her balance. Devious as Amane may be at times, I don't think this was planned out beforehand.
別に気にしないわ。この程度は。そういうわけにはいかないでしょ。身だしなみくらいしとかないとズボラでみっともない女になっちゃうわよ。
Sakaki attempted to bury the split end in her thick hair, but Amane smoothly intercedes and takes up position behind her. Compared to the clearly unnatural interactions earlier, this is a convincingly normal development. From a neutral perspective, it would appear an action of pure goodwill and friendliness on Amane's part. Accordingly, Sakaki proves unable to offer any firm resistance.
1, 2, 3 times there.
Ah. Of course, unbeknownst to her, Amane's racking up points by the second.
I wish we had the sound effect of like the cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
I can make it work.
あまねえめ、いいポジションに入り込んだのよさ。
Having won Sakaki's trust for the moment, Amane no longer has any need to employ risky, aggressive tactics. As she slowly and steadily racks up the points, Makina and Sachi's faces grow increasingly tense with desperation.
Uh-oh.
This couldn't possibly go wrong.
何よ。
本当に綺麗な髪だと思って。あ、枝毛どうしよう。抜いちゃってもいいの？あ、私枝毛切り持ってるから、私が。
She's just going to shear off a
I'm
huge
sorry.
section.
Cheers.
Well, what else would she keep in her shark bag other than candy and shears?
わかったわよ。あまねにお願いするからそんなに睨まないでよ。
It's just not working. It just Michiru's got nothing.
No, she's dead last, and she will not get out of that position.
ありがとう、みちる。なんで私だけ。
Michiru, it's painful just to watch you. The girl's thoughts are written too plainly on her face, especially when she's up to no good. Sakaki's going to shoot her down every time. Perhaps this will inspire her to take a good, long look at herself. Probably not. On the other extreme, Amane is already coasting into a leisurely victory lap.
It's a new lap record.
Combing through Sakaki's long hair, she snips out split ends with the scissors she borrowed from Michiru. As she's racking up another 10 points with every centimeter she harvests, she's already well into triple digits. Although Sakaki's keeping her expression blank, her reaction to Amane's fiddling with her hair appears to be something like relaxed boredom. Putting aside the points and this silly contest, it seems like they really might be getting friendlier.
ユミちゃん、決闘しよう決闘。友情が芽生えるまで殴り合おう。
What?
お断りよ。
Aw,
Punching for
I'll
friendship.
be honest. Not a bad idea.
It would have been
for
pretty
it.
great.
Well, why not?
榊さん、面白そうな本をお持ちですね。よろしければ私にも見せていただけませんか？
Read it from where you are.
不穏だから。いや。
Ooh, her perception is really good.
Ooh.
Makina and Sachi try their best to claw back into the fight, but Sakaki's on high alert. Their hands are tied. At this point, it's no exaggeration to say that the match is all but decided.
はーい、終わったわ。みちるもハサミありがとう。
Very soon, the chime heralding the end of recess period will sound. At that
Which
moment,
means what's gonna happen?
no idea. At that moment, this battle will be concluded as well. Sitting comfortably on a commanding lead, Amane refrains from touching Sakaki's hair longer than necessary, bringing the grooming session to a natural end.
By eating that grub.
Yum, nom, nom, nom. Long since out of the running, Michiru seems to be destined to end the match with an inept 0 points.
Oh.
Oh no, she's gonna do a Hail Mary, and it's going to end very badly.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
As Amane hands over the scissors, they slip through the dejected Michiru's hands and clatter against the floor. As a side note, don't get the idea that Michiru's only careless when depressed. This sort of thing happens all the time. Butterfingers.
あ、ごめんごめん。大丈夫。あったあった。
Uh-oh.
Dropping down under the desk, Michiru crawls forward a bit in the direction of the group. Picking up her scissors, she immediately begins to stand up.
ちょっと、そんなところで立ち上がった？
Yep.
Oh no. As Michiru's head lunges toward her like the world's clumsiest uppercut, Sakaki instinctively reaches out with her hands to defend herself. Of course, in those hands, she's still holding the book she'd been protecting all this time. Oh, she got it on her head. Wow. Come from behind victory.
あ？
Makina's laugh.
It's such a little gremlin.
She really is. It's great.
Can I get that laugh again? That's
Sure.
actually really good. Yep.
Great. In the next instant, Sakaki's frozen in place. Her book, knocked violently out of her hands, now rests on top of her head. Apparently unable to process this situation, Sakaki stands perfectly still, her visions based on movement. Sakaki's face is blank with dazed confusion. The hardcover book lies across the crown of her head like some bizarre helmet. It's a truly surreal moment. I find myself staring blankly, utterly lost for words, at least out loud. Makina has already burst into an explosion of tactless laughter, and Amine's trying and failing to contain her own amusement. Sachi, on the other hand, gazes with some bitterness at this truly astonishing bottom of the ninth comeback. It's always one word.
I know.
And in that moment, the bell echoes through the classroom, ending the contest. Huh. Well, Michiru won.
結果発表
At the next recess period, we've gathered in the hallway in an attempt to avoid Sakaki's notice.
はーいというわけで優勝はユージ発表をお願い
I really hope he goes from the bottom up.
He should.
Oh, nope.
Boo.
Lame.
I think you're all well aware, with a final score of 10,000 points earned by planting Sakaki's book on top of her head, Michiru is our champion.
悪いわねみんな
なんか納得いかないのよさ。
Yeah, really.
Wait till you're
全
out.
くです。
Oh my god.
悲しいわね負け犬の遠吠えでも認めなさい家庭はどうあれ結果が全て運も実力のうちってね
Well, it can be.
I mean, she is right.
Yeah,
That is a stat.
it is. Michiru may have been completely nonplussed by her victory at first, but upon grasping the situation, she instantly puffed herself up like a peacock. I think it's fairly clear that the girl has a lot of backed up resentment.
I
み
love
んなに
that
勝つ
she
チル
is.
チルなんてチルチルじゃないのよさ。
Sorry, what?
First of all, that's a great quote.
Mm-hmm.
But second, I love that she is a bad winner. That 100% adds up to her character.
Yep.
That works.
She's a bad winner and a bad loser. It doesn't matter.
はい、みちる様らしくありません。みちる様、バランスを取るためにも次の機会はぜひ負けてくださいませ。
そこまで言う必要ないでし
Yes.
ょまあまあええやんみんな
This is like, I'm not going to go into specific details, but you remember how bad our football teams were in high school?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You remember at one point, it was like our freshman year. Or I don't know if you were there yet, but
Maybe not.
when the JV team won the first game in like 3 seasons because they had lost like 30 straight games or something stupid.
Yeah, I don't think I was there for that yet, but I did hear about it.
I was on the team that won.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I just remember that we won like the last or the second to last game of the season. So it was like almost another winless season.
Wow.
We were shite.
Yeah, it happens. Amane offers the group vague, soothing words in full Kansai dialect.
ところでみちる最後のあれって狙ってたわけじゃないわよねもちろん偶然でしょえあいやもちろん計算づくに決まってるじゃない
Really? I mean, points for the Tsundere dedication, but
Yeah.
Michiru's voice rings with bold confidence. Judging from her stilted phrasing, it's most likely a complete lie, but the words nonetheless sound fairly convincing as they echo hollowly down the hallway.
Uh-oh.
At that moment, everyone else freezes in pure shock. With a quick survey of our surroundings, I soon learn why.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't miss Amane mouthing the word idiot, with a slightly smug look on her face either. Her reaction to defeat is to plot revenge, it would seem. Quite a woman.
Good setup.
Yep.
本当にユミコと少しは仲良くなれたのかしら。
Nope, think not. Sorry.
They got so focused on the contest, they missed the point.
なんでよ。多分ミチルがもう無事じゃいられないからかな。どういう意味よそれ。
Yep.
ふーん、わざとだったのね。
Oh no.
あれ
With a
The
familiar.
only way that would have been better is if Michiru just takes one step back, hits a solid figure.
Yep. Touch, touch, touch. Wait a minute. With a familiar, ominous sound, the shadowy figure that snuck up behind Michiru mutters a few ice-cold words. The smile on Michiru's face instantly hardens into a rigid grimace. Copious streams of sweat begin to run down her forehead and along her cheeks.
どうして教えてくれなかったのよ。
It's funnier this way. At last aware of her plight, Michiru squeezes out a few whimpering words of reproach.
You know, I'm ashamed to admit it, but I just noticed a moment ago.
Yeah, that's a weird drop in perception for him.
黙ってなさいって目で脅されててごめんね。
Wow.
可愛らしく言うな。使わまね。あんた分かってて私に聞いたでしょ。
Well played, Amane.
てへてへんじゃね
Oh
でも
man.
安心しました。みちる様にはふさわしい終わり方でほっとしています。
ほっとすんな。一見落着なのよさ。なあ、ユミちゃんも。
分かってると思うけど、当然あなたたちも絶対に許さないから。
This would be a
Uh-oh.
really good opportunity for us to just kind of Irish goodbye our way out of this.
Yep, we're already gone.
Bye.
ほら、ある意味仲良くなったと思わない？
You're such an optimist, Amane.
私はどうしたら。
Run.
Well, you know, probably the same thing as the rest of us. Retreat, double time.
ちょっと待ちなさいよ。
それはこっちのセリフだわ。
This day would go down as the first time in the Academy's history that all of its students were simultaneously absent from a class. But it's said that no one involved dare speak of the reason why. Okay, that was good.
That was pretty good.
I enjoyed that. Our daily habits become part of who we are. That goes for everything from the natural routines, like washing your face or brushing your teeth, to the obsessive rituals, like always moving your left leg first when you walk. I always move the right leg, I think, but that probably has to do with dominant sides.
Huh.
Or maybe it's just a coincidence, I really don't know. I know I don't run every single day for some conscious reason. The habit's just ingrained into my personality by this point. Doesn't matter how tired I am, doesn't matter if it's pouring rain, doesn't matter if the wind's blowing me all over the road. Even when I get a little sick, I'm out there running like it's a cure for the common cold. 16 kilometers every morning like clockwork. In 1 month, that's 496. In a year, 5,840. Damn, man's a machine. When you work it out, I'm running the distance to Singapore annually, with change to spare. A pretty respectable distance, if I do say so myself. Not that I'm particularly aiming to go see the... What is that?
Merlion.
Merlion, okay. Not that
It's the lions that everyone takes pictures in front of.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You've played the Mario Kart level.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah.
I don't know.
I just didn't realize that that was what they were called.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have some good places. I don't know if you like durian. They usually have some people who sell some pretty good durian near there. I'm actually a big fan of durian. So.
It probably would be good fresh, I think.
It's really good. I mean, if you don't like the smell, you're probably not gonna like it.
Yeah.
But I think it's really good, and the ice cream flavor is actually really good.
Okay, I would try the ice cream. I feel like I would be inclined to do that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Okay. Not that I'm particularly aiming to go see the Merlion or try out the famous chicken rice. My itinerary is strictly local. Every day, I make my way around the outer walls of the school, past the shuttered stores of the shopping district, and by a few poorly maintained Shinto shrines. Every day, I take in the same coastal scenery. It might sound repetitive, but I don't feel any need to change my standard course. Running a familiar road at a familiar pace makes for better training. That said, my route isn't completely set in stone. For example, if I happen to notice an acquaintance nearby, I'll sometimes head in their direction. Not that I chase people around town, of course. I just catch up and offer a brief greeting. It just seems like a polite thing to do, especially when you're a school friend of mine. This morning, as I'm following my standard marathon route around the Academy's campus, I catch sight of Matsushima Michiru. I plan to do 3 quick laps around the school before heading toward the station, but Michiru's appearance gives me pause. Even from a distance, her body language is clearly unusual. From the way she's trudging along the road with her shoulders slumped, you'd think that the force of gravity is operating at double strength in her immediate vicinity. Nah, she's just using the hyperbolic time chamber or the gravity machine from Capsule Corp.
Hypertonic line chamber.
Something seems distinctively off with that girl. Then again, it's still very early in the morning, and I don't want to disturb her privacy. Probably better not to call out to her. As I make my way through the shopping district, I try to think of reasons why Michiru would leave the school at such an early hour. She's a little young to be heading to a public park for radio calisthenics, so what's her objective?
A little young by like...
Was there a finish to that? It sounds like it may have cut off.
I said a little young by like 50 years.
There we go, it was just a little young by... And then there was suspense. When I happen to spot the girl for the second time in this one training session, my curiosity proves harder to suppress. This time, I'm running along the coast when I noticed her blonde hair dead ahead. She's walking slowly up the same road, her head slightly bowed. At this rate, I'll catch up to her very soon. When I overtake her, I can just say a quick hello. But Michiru abruptly turns off my route. Before I have the chance to say anything, she's vanished down the side path. Having completed my standard 16 kilometers, I return to my dorm as usual. Usually, I'd take a quick shower next. But the uncharacteristic melancholy I could see in Michiru, even from a distance, seems to have left an oddly strong impression on me. It's weighing on my mind.
We're classmates after all. Can't hurt to stick my neck in every once in a while.
Mumbling something of an excuse to myself, I wipe the sweat from my neck with a towel, then head back outside the school grounds. I don't understand people who dream about living in a house by the sea. The ocean breeze makes everything rust. The moisture makes it hard to dry your laundry. If a seaside town sounds romantic, you've probably never lived in one.
I mean, depends, because if you live in a place with high enough humidity, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be hard to dry your stuff no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'd rather live near the salt water and that smell.
Yeah, I know. Oh, exactly. I love that smell and just the sound of the waves. That's nice.
Yep.
Very soothing. Sure, you can come to love your home wherever it may be, but let me assure you, there's nothing idyllic about drunken teenagers partying on the beach for months at a time. Fair. Especially given their tendency to launch fireworks at midnight. Okay, yeah, that would really get on my nerves.
Yeah. Alright, then I'm pretty sure she headed this way.
Ooh, nice view. I find Michiru seated on a high ridge overlooking the sea, aimlessly gazing into the distance. I approach slowly, but she appears oblivious to my presence. I'm consciously talking out loud, conspicuous steps to no apparent effect. The girl's carelessness exceeds my expectations. She's crumpled into herself like a load of laundry long forgotten in the hamper. More than anything else, she looks worn out, exhausted even, almost like a completely different person. I can hear the sound of waves in the distance. The sunlight is gentle this morning, the weather fair and pleasant. The location isn't bad either. But if this is an early morning picnic, she's forgotten to bring food.
Michiru.
The fastest way to figure out what she's doing here is probably just to ask her, but she doesn't respond to my voice.
What's wrong? Waiting to get picked up by the garbage truck? In that case, you've got to correctly label yourself as oversized waste. They can't pick up bottled blondes if you just dump one on the curb, you know.
Wow, what a way to say hello. Normally, a remark like this would be met with an indignant cryptic shriek of "Muki!" as soon as it left my mouth. But today, I get nothing. Just what is going on with this girl? I rapidly review and analyze Michiru's recent behavior.
Okay, just what do we have here?
It doesn't take long for me to reach an extremely plausible hypothesis. All the pieces fall into place.
I see, so that's what's going on. Why didn't I realize sooner? Careless. Very careless, damn.
I've finally gotten a grasp on the situation, specifically the nature of Matsushima Michiru's bodily distress. Oh my god.
Michiru, has your dysentery taken a turn for the worst? You should have told me. Why suffer in silence? Okay, look, first order of business. I need to look at your stool to confirm the progression of the disease, so hurry up, out with it.
Of all of the jokes to get a call back,
That one, huh?
何ちょっと
it was a shitty joke to begin with. When I grab Michiru's shoulders with both hands and begin shaking her vigorously, there's finally a response. I was half convinced she'd fainted sitting up, but things don't seem to be quite that serious.
なんでユージがここにいるの？
I could ask you the same question.
Good question. Why am I here? What do you think?
Is this the right time to get existential?
わからないから聞いてるんだけど。
Michiru may have recognized my presence, but her normal bristly attitude is notable by its absence. It's not just that her armor has fallen off, it feels as though she isn't aware of her own state of vulnerability.
Why am I here? Well, that would be because I came here, therefore here I am. Do you understand?
Are you in the right mindset for philosophy?
それはそうだけど、そういうことじゃなくて。
Either way, that's of little importance at the moment. Produce a stool sample at once.
Oh my god.
何を言ってるの？
Boy, he is really obsessed with that.
Why do they ride the joke?
I don't know, this...
It works if you do it once. Or a callback.
Ugh.
Cut the back talk, maggot. You're the one who ate contaminated food. Here I am, kindly offering to examine your stool as a favor to my classmate, and this is your attitude. Evacuate your bowels at once.
あのね、何度言えばわかるの？私は汚染されたものなんて食べないから。拾い食いなんてしないの。
Please, Michiru, kill the joke. Kill it with fire.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you implying my mental picture of you is fundamentally flawed?
Yes.
一応聞いておくけど、ユージの中で私ってどんな認識？
Kinda like a raccoon, but less, cute.
Yeah.
I picture you in the mountains, discovering, colorful toadstools. You try to shriek, "But what's this? It's like so cute." But before the "so" is out of your mouth, it's stuffed full of mushrooms and you're dead seconds later.
That would be more like, oh my god, what is this?
そんなことするわけないでしょ。何？私ってそんなイメージなの？
I've never even seen you eat mushrooms.
Well, okay, let me ask you instead. What kind of image do you think your acquaintances have of you?
それはいつも元気に青い鳥を探して走り回ってるツンデレミチルタン。
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
私は本当は青い鳥を見つけたいわけじゃないんだからねって感じかしらね。
Alright.
If you don't want to find one, why are you running around chasing it in the first place?
例えでしょ。今のはミチルのごく一部なのよ。わかる？そ こはあんま言わなくていいのよ。
But that's what he does, like the chicken of discontent.
Sadly, I find your explanation incoherent. And that image of you lying dead in the forest with mushrooms spilling out of your mouth doesn't seem to be going anywhere. My apologies.
It's fine, she's just a circle of spores druid.
うるさいわね。とにかくい
Passive
つも
damage.
元気な私なのよ。
Certainly, my impression of Michiru up to today has been pretty similar to her description, a constantly cheerful idiot girl. But today she's got none of the usual vigor, and her tsundere act has all but disappeared. When women act differently from normal, the most likely cause is that time of the month, of course. I figured he was going to go there. But we're dealing with a girl going through a difficult age. One must put these questions delicately, or it'll be awkward to answer. I lower my voice and beckon Michiru closer with my hand, or you could just leave it alone.
何
Maybe a little less quieter than that so the microphone can hear you.
Michiru.
Michiru draws her face near. I put the matter to her in the most gentlemanly way I know how. Wow.
Are you menstruating?
You know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of that song where he's basically like, I'm trying to think of the words to describe you without being disrespectful. Damn, girl, you're a sexy bitch. Like, sir, you didn't even try.
違うわよ。普通そういうこと耳元で小声で聞かないでしょ。
I mean, I would have been quieter, but he said not to.
Hey, you gotta make calls to make it audible.
I thought it would be better than shouting, but it seems our opinions differ.
大きな声でも小さな声でも普通は女の子にそんなこと言わないでしょ。
I agree.
If I don't ask, I'll never understand. All right, then is it iron deficiency? I mean, that won't just give you anemia, you know. It makes it easier to catch colds as well. I mean, there's no reason to stuff yourself with vitamin C like an idiot if you forget, you know, to eat anything else. You need balance, all right? Balance.
そんなんじゃないわよ。違うもん。具合が悪いとかじゃないの。
So it's not anemia, not menstruation, and not nutritional deficiency. I'm out of ideas. What's actually going on here?
それはそうなの。
I feel like he could have just skipped a lot of that and asked the question directly.
It's fine. Even if it feels hard to talk about, you can throw it at me straight. I've been in the field a long time, seen a lot of things. You're probably not gonna shock me.
Probably.
それはね、あのね。
Yeah, what is it?
海を見てたの。
All right. And we got a CG.
Cool. Looking at... Huh. Say what?
だから海を見てたのよ。
I see it.
The sea.
Michiru gives a quick, embarrassed nod, her eyes downcast. Looking at the sea, I ruminate carefully on these words. Just what hidden meaning lurks inside this brief, cryptic cipher of a sentence? I know of a certain Japanese organization that refers to its maneuvering grounds as the mountains. Alright, so what would the sea indicate? Nothing comes to mind.
Sorry, Michiru. When you say the sea, what exactly are you referring to?
A large body of water that is next to us.
海は海でしょ。
Accurate.
Indeed.
The sea is the sea, which would make looking the keyword. Oh, okay. I'd assumed you were indicating some sort of special surveillance mission. Was I missing a crucial context?
はい。いや単純に海を見てたのよ。意味なんてないよ。
What? You were literally just looking at the ocean.
うん。
Okay, explain yourself. I'm baffled. You were just staring at a giant saltwater puddle for no reason whatsoever.
Sometimes you just like to stare into the sea.
そうよ。何か問題でもあるの？
Of course there is. Look, the first and biggest problem is that you don't see anything wrong with it. Listen carefully. Time is not an infinite resource. You only get so much.
Says the guy who runs 16 kilometers every day.
Accurate. Our lives are brief, so how to make use of the precious time we're given is absolutely an essential problem. It's one thing if you're never given the opportunity to make your own choices. Some people follow, orders from others. If that's the only path to you, then you just have to deal with it the best you can. But you, my friend, have the good fortune to be a free human being, and you're choosing to spend your time staring at the sea. No reason at all. I find that extremely hard to understand. As your classmate, I officially request that you produce an acceptable reason for looking at the ocean. Understood?
あのさ、難しく考えすぎじゃない？綺麗だなーって思って、ただ海を見てただけじゃない。それでよくない？特別な理由がどうしても必要なの？
Ah, that's valid.
Okay. Can I conceive of this as a rest and relaxation period then? And I don't think I can accept it unless there's some sort of concrete meaning to your action.
You know, that robotic tendency that we're always talking about from Sachi, it's beginning to show here as well.
じゃあ、それでいいわよ。海を見てリラックスしてたのよ。
I feel like him and Sachi would work well together in a stupid way.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I think we've talked about it a little bit before. His personality has little tidbits of every other character's personality nested in them. And they just emerge at different times.
Yep. Have to say, you don't really seem to be enjoying it much.
そんなことないよ。
Michiru squints her eyes against the sea breeze. Her expression belies her words. This explanation seems dubious at best. But then again, I suppose it was foolish of me to expect any coherent logical basis from this woman's behavior.
風が気持ちいい。
We stand below the vivid, clear summer sky, utterly wasting our time. If things are going to continue along these lines, it'd be more productive to return to the dorm now and just read for a while.
Michiru, my friend, have you considered the possibility that this abnormal desire to view the ocean is some sort of product of the bacterial infection in your brain?
Oh my gosh.
考えられません。
Then perhaps there's a kappa in your family tree? No, wait, they live in rivers. Damn, what's this lunacy? Just your head for a second.
何
Shut your mouth, present me your cranium, don't give me trouble.
だってもしかして頭にお皿
Wait, what? I pull Michiru's head toward me and quickly pluck out a single hair. Hey, that's worth 10 points. Among her mass of thoroughly bleached blonde locks, there was a single pure black strand.
終わったお皿割った
What? Did the kappa ancestor ring any bells? Not to worry, nothing's broken. I just pulled out a black hair for you. Kinda stands out when surrounded by a sea of blonde.
No matter how much effort you put in, you're probably going to miss a few hairs like this unless you have someone else take a look for you.
そうなんだ。ありがとう。
Oh, you've got cucumber bits around your mouth, by the way.
ああ、そんな冗談ばっかり言ってないで。ユージも見てみなよ、海を。
I'll pass. Why bother looking at it? It's the same as yesterday. I think the ocean will get along just fine if I don't sit around staring at it.
いいから見てみなよ。ほら。
I give in to her pestering and stare out at the ocean. As expected, there have been no dramatic developments since the last time I saw it.
なんかさ、 海って大きいよね。
The sea may be the same as always, but Michiru is clearly different today. The tone of her voice is strange.
True enough. 70% of the Earth is covered in oceans. Huge is a relative concept, but I think this would qualify by the more typical standards of comparison.
そんな風に言うと思ったんだ。面白いね。
Michiru laughs, inexplicably amused by my simple statement of fact. But in the next moment, that unusually serious expression is back on her face.
あのね、私こう思うんだ。
Are you okay?
この海に比べたら人間ってちっぽけな存在だよね。この大きな海を見てると私の悩みなんてちっぽけすぎて笑えてきちゃうんじゃないかなって。
Oh, she is going existentialist on us. Didn't expect that part.
All I can think of right now is, though, a huge T.
I want a huge burger. It's gotta be like 40 times bigger than the next biggest burger.
Michiru brazenly fires off a set of lines you'd normally only hear the likes of in a corniest of decades-old made-for-TV teenage drama fests. If she's not intentionally quoting something, this is about as hackneyed and cliched as it gets.
今私結構いいこと言ったんじゃね？
Just like the
You
sea.
ruined it.
What's more, she's not remotely sheepish about her trite words. Fascinating. Not tripe words. Fascinating. Maybe I'll take a look inside her head and see how the machinery works. She's clearly got a few screws loose already. Should pop open easily enough.
Yeah, maybe it was.
But in the end, I decide to affirm her statement. It's a fact that humans are only one part of a greater whole of nature. It might be cliched to reflect on the transitory nature of our existence, but that doesn't make it any less valid a thought.
Thought.
でしょ？そうでしょ？にひひ、いいこと言ったよね。5本。
Look, that doesn't mean you need to repeat it. Once was plenty.
海を何よもう言わせてよね。私の悩みなんてちっぽけなものよね。
Michiru's clearly gotten carried away. It might have been a mistake to give her an ego boost like that. In the end, she is nothing more than an idiot. Can't have her getting too satisfied with herself. Too exasperated even to sigh, I send Michiru an expressive glare. Not that I'm confident she'll be able to see the cold pity in my eyes.
うふふうふふ。ん？ちょっと何見てるの？何？
That self-satisfied laugh.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
なんでもないのに見るとか意味わか。あ
Are you good? Is there a bee? Huh. It looks like the girl's had a sudden flash of insight. Perhaps she's finally become aware of her own foolishness?
そういう意味じゃないからね。ちっぽけな悩みってそういうことじゃないもん。
Oh, I see.
What?
She's reverting back to her Tsundere state.
Oh. Alright.
As Michiru babbles on, she moves her arms to hide her tiny chest from
Oh,
view.
nope.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I was reading too much into it. Alright.
Look, Maggot, I have no interest in your pitiful excuse for a rack.
Ow.
何よ見てたじゃない。エッチー目で見てたでしょ。それに私別におおむねちっぽけじゃないもん。あるもん。
Look, a nice body is a term we might use to describe, say, minute. By any reasonable standard, your breasts are tragically underdeveloped, and you have my condolences.
Ouch again.
ちょっとなんだよ。残念じゃないよ。全然残念じゃないもん。マキナの方があれだもん。
Okay, that girl's in a whole different category. Are you really happy winning against an outlier like Makina?
嬉しくな。ちょっと嬉しい。
The corners of Michiru's mouth rise ever so slightly, probably recalling Makina's washboard of a chest and mentally comparing it to her own.
Look, man, if you're like, reminds me like in a university I had to take a, technically I think I had to take 2 PE classes,
Mm-hmm.
but one of them I got out of because I was actually in sports.
Oh, nice.
But the other one I didn't because it wasn't that season yet. And so I had to do tennis. And I love tennis, but I am terrible. And I was absolutely the second worst person. But yes, it felt good beating the worst person.
Oh no, I totally get it.
What a petty human being. Have you no pride, woman? You might as well gloat about handling your chopsticks better than some tourist from France.
うちはね、私おおむね大きいもん。大きいんだってば。大きいって言いなさいよね。
They're big.
ミチル様のお胸はとっても大きいですって言いなさいよ。
Michiru-sama's breasts are very large. Indeed.
TM. I like how it's all caps. Well, I mean, capital case.
Yeah, each word.
なんかムカつく。
Apparently, my complete lack of sincerity got across to you. But anyway, sounds like you've cheered up a little.
My plan worked, by accident.
だから最初から元気だって言ってるでしょ。私はいつも私なの。
Okay. The black cat from the other day appears from somewhere or another. Purring loudly, it sidles up to Michiru and aggressively rubs up against her leg.
I see. So you came in search of a black cat rather than a blue bird.
そういうわけじゃないんだからね。たまたまですよ。っていうか、この猫初めて見るな。へえ、こんなところに猫がいるとはね。奇遇だなにゃ。奇遇。
Yeah, what are the odds? I've never seen this cat before in my life. Rub, rub.
What's this cat's name again? Something like...
名前なんてないんじゃない？知らないな。
That's right, it's Rommel.
猫にゃです。やめてよね、そんな変な名前でこの子のこと呼ぶの。
And she fell for it.
あ、
Just as I thought. The same animal that was at school before, isn't it? Didn't know it was your pet.
だから違います。こんな猫知らないもん。
Wait, Rommel isn't an acquaintance of yours?
だから猫にゃだって言ってるで。知らんな。
Ah, you dropped something. Allow me.
いやいいです拾わんといて。
Cat food? Carton of milk, huh? That's a bit unusual for you.
Pretty close.
私が牛乳大好きなの知らなかった？確かにみんなの前では一度も飲んだことないけど、大好きでいつも飲んでるのよ。
Really? Drink it.
She just cracks open the carton and starts guzzling it down like Luke Skywalker in with the blue milk.
Like in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's it.
みんなの前では一瞬たりともそんな素振り見せたことはないけどね。
I see, good to hear. If you, by any chance, you'd been given that milk to the cat, I would have had to stop you.
なんで？
Well, no worries. Since you're the one drinking it, there's no problem. Enjoy.
これは私のだから問題ないのよね。でもなんで？ねえ、教えなさいよね。
All right, let me break it down for you. Giving a cat milk can upset its stomach badly. If you're that desperate to give it some, you need to dilute the milk with water first.
別にどうしても与えたいわけじゃないもん。
As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Michiru is glancing restlessly around the area.
Not salt water.
Yeah, no.
What's wrong? Looking for a source of water by chance?
違います。水を探していません。なんでもないの、バカ。ぐるぐるにゃー。
The black cat wraps itself around Michiru's legs like a fuzzy boa constrictor, then starts to rub the corner of his jaw roughly against her ankle. Looks like he's trying to mark her with its scent.
Seems like you've pretty much tamed the animal. One could almost get the mistaken impression that he's begging for the milk you always give him.
そんなことないです。猫にゃ。このどこの馬の骨ともわからぬ猫。つまり馬猫は懐いてきてません。
You sure about that? Rommel seems awfully.
だから猫にゃ。いや、馬です。この猫は馬です。
What?
No, it's clearly a cat.
そんなのわかってるわよ。もう。
Apparently giving up on its request for milk, the feline in question sinks to the ground at Michiru's feet and rolls itself up into a ball. Within seconds, it closes its eyes and falls fast asleep. Aw.
You must have been feeding this thing for quite a while, for it to trust you this much.
うるさいわね。別に頻繁に通って餌付けなんてしてないんだからね。これは赤の他人の猫の馬なのよ。つまり赤い馬なの。
What?
だから最終的には石飛馬ってことなの。
Okay.
What? Alright. You know, you have a bad habit of firing off just unintelligible gibberish when you get worked up.
That is true.
じゃあ馬を撫でて落ち着きます。撫で撫で。
There we go. It'll make me feel better, cat I've never met before. Michiru reaches down and scratches the neck of the defenseless cat with the tip of her fingers. The animal moves its head in time with her strokes in evident pleasure, then begins to lick at the pink pads on its paws. The cat seems so completely and blissfully relaxed that I half expect it to melt into a contented puddle. Just watching it, I can feel some of the stiffness in my shoulders begin to lighten. It's not good to carelessly let your guard down, but keeping up a state of constant tension is an even worse idea. After a brief glance around the area, I decide to take a moment of rest.
Alright, think I'll join him here for a little while.
Alright, we just plopped down. I drop myself to the ground next to Michiru. Flustered, she grabs at her skirt and holds it close, preventing any potential visual access to the interior.
Don't be an idiot. I don't have any ulterior motive. You worry about the stupidest things.
下心がなくても見えたら困るでしょ。
Alright.
Like what? Bit of cloth? Nothing worth worrying about.
Michiru is apparently worried about disturbing the cat now slumbering at her feet, as she's avoiding any large movements. Either way, I truly don't have any secret plans involving her underwear. I just wanted to sprawl out on the grass and think about nothing at all for a while.
いいから、あんまりこっち見ないでよね。
It's been a long time since I've laid myself down on the ground and gazed blankly up at the sky like this. Every once in a while, I do spend some time gazing at the clouds, but I tend to be thinking things over while I do so. But as Michiru says, just looking for no particular reason isn't bad in its own way. Oh yeah, so it's fine to do it into the sky, but apparently not at the sea.
I was about to say, wait a minute. Yep.
Alright. The vault of blue above me hasn't changed. It looks just as it did when I was a child. I thought the clouds might seem a little closer by now, but naturally they're the same as they've always been. My perspective may be a meter or so higher when I stand, but that's completely insignificant on this scale. I can stretch my hand up all I want, but it'll never reach the clouds. We're all but chained to the dirt beneath our feet.
I see. Not a bad view.
Michiru begins to speak, her tone somewhat troubled.
私は空はちょっと怖いんだ。特に夜の空。月が浮かんでいるのを見てると、それが月じゃなくて大きな穴に見えてくるの。
Interesting.
空はすんごくでっかい蓋で、そこにある空気穴が月。そう考えると、箱の中に閉じ込められた気になって息苦しくなる。
It's really fascinating that she would see the sea as this huge, boundless thing that makes her feel really small, but then see the sky as restrictive.
Yeah,
Fascinating from a psychological standpoint.
actually, yeah. I've always heard people who get disturbed by the moon always seem to follow you around, but the world is a giant box angle. That's new to me.
私にはそう見えるの。だから夜は空を見上げない。
Ooh.
怖くなるし、寂しくなる。私が私じゃないみたいになる。
I think I understand.
Oh my god.
You don't look at the night sky in order to prevent yourself from transforming into a wolf, right? I imagine that would be troublesome.
We were having such a nice, deep conversation, and then he had to go and throw that in there.
いっそその方が気が楽だわ。狼でもドラキュラでも構わない。
Yeah, but she followed it.
銀の中段で撃ち抜いてほしい。狙うのはし。にゃ
Thank you.
ー。あー、ごめんね猫に。お腹空いたのかな。それとも眠いのかにゃ。
Perhaps.
Oh, well. This weather really does make you want to take a siesta. That said, I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so the timing is a bit off.
ねえユージ。変なこと聞くけど。変に思わないでね。
I think that ship has sailed.
No worries on that front.
Yep.
I've had you down as exceptionally weird for a long time now.
あのさ、人って死んだらどうなるの？
Ooh, he is not the right person to ask this question to.
What?
待って。
No, he probably is the worst person.
Yeah.
そのまま寝転がって聞いて。たわいもない話として。
If possible, I'd like to talk about this while observing her face. But if Michiru-sama desires otherwise, I can do naught but obey. I ease myself back onto the grass and listen to her voice.
例えば、ドラキュラは太陽の光で灰になって消えておしまいでしょ？だったら人間は死んだらどうなるの？
We're talking about religious ideology here? You want to hear something about a final moral judgment?
そういうんじゃない。もっと普通に。
Oh.
普通に死んだらどうなっちゃうの？
Well, in that case, he might actually be a really good person to answer that question.
Well, let's see. I mean, I haven't died yet, so I can't speak with much authority, but probably nothing.
何もないってどういう状態？
I mean, if you're imagining floating naked in pure white space, I think you're slightly off. The way I picture it, it's like going to sleep and just never waking up again.
そっか。眠って起きないのか。
I mean, everyone around you will probably be running around worrying about the funeral, but what do you care? I mean, there's different ways to get to that point, but ultimately I think it's just sleeping for eternity.
そっか。そうなんだ。意外と楽なのかもね。
Depends on how you look at it. I mean, heaven and hell are just, remnants of moral education from an earlier era. Nobody really takes that stuff seriously anymore. Boy, that's not like the majority of Asia.
No.
I mean, like Japan, yes, but like, boy, not the rest of Asia.
Or a lot of other places either.
I'm thinking mainly Asia. It's where I've been around.
Well, and it makes sense too in the context of this game.
Yeah, especially him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't see many people going around walking on water or making magical wine out of it.
Okay, well now he's being specific.
Of course, it does seem that God does appear before the chosen few every once in a while. Most often tell them they need to start up a political campaign.
うん。
Michiru begins to ask something, but stops before the words leave her mouth.
Who should you vote for?
After a moment of silence, she starts to speak again. I can't tell whether it's the continuation of her dangling sentence or a completely new topic.
もし私が死んだら、ここに埋めてほしい。
Alright.
Getting a bit ahead of yourself there. Or do you plan to die anytime soon?
ないよ。ないけど、もしもの話。だって、ここは景色がすごく綺麗じゃない？ここから世界中が見渡せそうだもん。こんな場所で眠れるんだったら幸せ。
Okay.
To be honest, I'm a little displeased to hear a perfectly healthy person scouting out locations for their tomb.
そう固いこと言わないの。ねえ、その大役をユージに任せてあげる。ここにお墓作って。
I feel like this could be foreshadowing and I don't like it.
You want me to dig a hole and bury you in it? Alright, look, in the first place, a grave isn't something you can make just wherever you please. Do you understand that?
いいの。細かいことはいいからそうしなさい。
Aw. The cat's eyes shoot open at the end of Michiru's shout. Startled, it bounds away like a spring, vanishing in the blink of an eye. I slowly raise my upper body off the ground, brushing off the grass clinging to my clothes.
まったく、あんたにはマロンがないのよ、マロンが。
I wasn't in the mood for a salad, I suppose.
Why are we talking about lettuce?
栗の話なんてしてないでしょ。何よ、ふざけてんの？猫にゃも逃げちゃったし。ああ、栗とか言うからお腹空いちゃったじゃない。さあ、それじゃあ朝ごはんでも食べに行くわよ。そこのあんた、私が一緒に食べてあげてもいいわよ。
Okay. Michiru's expression has returned to the norm. It's as though the conversation just now never happened.
Well, if you're hungry, I guess I could split my beans with you.
豆？相変わらず貧相な食生活してるわね。
Of course.
Says the girl who's always filling up on convenient store boxed lunches that are packed full of preservatives.
さよね。それじゃあ今からどっちが先に学校戻るか競争負けたらジュースとかおごれるよいな。
Pretty sure we have this. Our little conversation about death took me by surprise, honestly. Not what you expect from a random chat with your classmate. But life is always shadowed by death. The only question is whether you're aware of its presence at your side. Sometimes a man who looked perfectly healthy in the morning goes to sleep and never opens his eyes again. Death can come at any time, and once it does, it's too late to regret the things you've left undone. Morbidity isn't productive, but sometimes we should remember that nothing lasts forever. Michiru's words might be significant in their own way. Michiru calls me from some distance away. Carefree girl. I'll catch up to her in seconds if that's the extent of her head start. I begin to walk slowly, trying to decide what sort of drink I'll have her buy me. Boy, that got dark. But interesting.
I was hoping it would end with her winning that race. It's like he just tortoise and hares it and waits too long.
Yeah, or he just spends too much time caught up in his thoughts like he usually does, and she ends up somehow winning just by complete luck.
Yep.
But no, she can only get that once per episode, and it usually comes back to bite her pretty quickly.
Apparently.
That started off as a really funny episode and then turned into a really serious episode. I do appreciate the fact that we're getting a little bit of more depth to Michiru's character.
Slowly but surely.
We're very much just wading our way into that pool to see how deep it goes. Most of the time it's pretty shallow. But in this case, pretty deep. I like that.
Well, little bit. I like that she tries to get deep and immediately compliments herself
True.
for trying to go deep.
Oh, but that's so fitting of her personality. I really liked that point.
It is.
Not to mention how she just kind of carried on with the Wolfman Dracula thing. She just rode along. She's so easy to... I'm beginning to wonder if maybe that's how their relationship will work. She just is malleable. I feel like that would get old fast, though.
It would. Like, I'm really wondering how it's gonna work.
At this point, hers is the one that I'm the most curious about.
I actually agree. I think it's the one in some ways that it's in that list of the ones that like I don't really care either way because I'm not like overly attached to her character.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested to see how it.
Yeah, I think curiosity is more compelling me to see her route than anything else.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, we've gotten to know most of the characters fairly well at this point. I'm trying to think who I'm the most interested in / like the best. I think it's probably between Sachi and Amane right now.
For me, it's Amane because she's the most forward.
Fair, okay.
And she's very clever socially, so I'm interested to see also what depth is there. Because she's already an interesting character.
I agree, yeah.
Then maybe Sakaki, actually.
That doesn't surprise me.
Because she's displayed very little of what's behind her. So there's an intrigue there.
Yeah, very mysterious, I get that. I think she's probably probably third for me in terms of investment.
You knew me in high school.
Yeah.
Entirely would be somebody that I would have ended up dating.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
In real life. 100%.
I could see that.
Yeah, so that one makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Sachi definitely is number 3. She's definitely there, number 3 for me.
I have to say, I think Michiru gets a slight edge because I'm curious to see how it works, and Makina's probably last, but I'm still...
Makina's definitely last for me, because Makina comes across more as just like a little sister you want to protect.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that. And so I give Michiru the heads up because I'm like, well, I'm not that interested in this character, but I do want to see how the dynamic would work. Like, for this character, why would he be interested? And so I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And I know we've talked about it before, but I feel like I have the same sort of... I don't know how to phrase it. There's just a je ne sais quoi to why I'm not as invested in figuring out Makina's details yet.
I mean, that makes sense. Because it really does. Like, she just comes across as a younger sister. That's it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Well, I think that's about all I've got. Do you have anything else?
Nope. I mean, we pretty much ordered our... did our current tier list, so,
Yep, subject to change. As always.
Yep, very subject to change.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.